Imagine this. You wake up one day and realize the heaviest chains you carry are not on your hands or your feet, but inside your mind. Chains of anxiety, chains of regret, chains of fear. They weigh you down more than any prison ever could. Or picture this, standing in the middle of a storm. Winds tearing at you, rain pouring, the world in chaos. Yet inside, you remain calm, steady, unshaken. That is the gift of the Stoic mind. Let me ask you a question. What if suffering is not caused by what happens to you, but by what you believe about what happens? If that is true, then freedom begins not in the world outside, but in the world within. And this brings us to an ancient story. A story of a man named Epictetus, born into slavery. His body was beaten, his freedom stripped away. One day, his cruel master twisted his leg with such force that it snapped. Epictetus didn't scream. He didn't curse. He simply looked at him and said, "You're going to break it." And when the leg broke, he calmly added, "I told you so." This wasn't numbness. It was mastery, the mastery of the only thing he truly owned, his mind. Epictetus could not escape pain. He could not escape cruelty. But he could escape suffering by refusing to let anything external dominate his inner world. That is the very essence of Stoicism. And today, you are that warrior in training. You may not be in physical chains, but perhaps your mind is shackled. Shackled to anxiety, regret, heartbreak, or self-doubt. And you are here because you are tired of carrying it all. You want peace. You want clarity. You want strength. And let me tell you this, it is possible. You can end mental suffering not by running away from life, but by seeing it clearly, owning your response, and walking the path of the Stoic. So let us take this journey together. But before we dive deeper, please support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing, so more people can learn this timeless wisdom. Now the question is, how do we end mental suffering? Step 1. Understand the true source of your suffering. Let's be honest, no solution is possible unless we know the cause. Most of our suffering begins not in the moment, but in the mind. It begins when expectation replaces reality. It is born not in what is, but in what we demand life should be. You wanted that person to stay, but they left. You hoped for that job, but it never came. You expected life to be fair, but it wasn't. Suffering begins when we demand that reality obey our desires. But reality is not your servant, it is your teacher. Epictetus once said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." The first step to ending suffering is radical acceptance. Stop arguing with life. Begin to observe it. Align your expectations with what is, not with what you wish it to be. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, lost children to illness, was betrayed by his closest allies, and carried the burden of an empire in crisis. Yet he wrote, "Accept everything which happens, even if it seems disagreeable, because it leads to the health of the universe." Instead of resisting fate, he flowed with it, and in that flow, he found peace amidst the storm. Step 2. Control your memory and imagination. Ask yourself, how much of your pain comes from things that already happened? How much comes from fears about what might happen? And how much is actually happening right now? Mental suffering thrives on two illusions, the past and the future. But your life only exists here and now. And the present moment, more often than not, is bearable, sometimes even beautiful. That's why Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." So train your mind to stay present. When you catch it wandering into regret or fear, bring it back. Focus on your breath. Focus on your body. Focus on the task before you. Anchor yourself in this very moment. And when anxiety overwhelms you, try this: stop. Breathe in deeply. Then ask yourself, is this pain real, or is this just a story? Release what you cannot control. Embrace what you can. Step 3. Be the watcher of your thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. Sometimes your mind is not your ally. It creates judgments, fears, labels, and stories, many of which are false. But you are not your thoughts. You are the consciousness that observes them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. Detach from your thoughts. You are not weak just because your mind feels weak. You are not broken just because your thoughts are chaotic. Observe your mind like the sky observes the weather. Clouds pass. Storms pass. But the sky always remains." Epictetus, though born a slave and crippled by cruelty, refused to let his mind become a prison. He said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." His body was chained, but his spirit was free. Step 4. See pain not as the enemy, but as a teacher. Pain is part of life. Grief is proof that you loved. Disappointment is proof that you hoped. Struggle is proof that you tried. You will not end suffering by avoiding pain, you end it by transforming your relationship with pain. Every discomfort is training. Every hardship is a lesson in strength. Every struggle is a forge for your soul. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lost everything in a shipwreck. But instead of despairing, he declared, "I made a prosperous voyage when I suffered shipwreck." What looked like the end was, in truth, the beginning of a new path. The same can be true for you. Mental suffering is not a life sentence, it is a signal. It is not proof that you are broken, it is proof that you are human. And now you know the path forward. Accept reality, stay rooted in the present, observe your thoughts, focus only on what you can control, and let pain become your teacher. So breathe. Stand tall. And remember this, you are stronger, far stronger, than your mind wants you to believe.